Good evening, my dear one. Good evening from my part of the world. Depending on where you'll be watching this video from, it might be morning or afternoon. So good morning, good afternoon. My part of the world, it is evening. Therefore, good evening, my dear one. If you followed this page for a while, then you know that I address progressive issues, things that you and I would be able to extrapolate wisdom, principles, and knowledge from. If you've been here in a minute, then you should understand that I talk about the difficult and yet necessary conversation that we need to have as people. Until we are ready to trade in short-term discomfort so we can have these conversations, we would end up having a long-term dysfunctionality, which many of us don't want to live on that address anymore. So once I learn, why not I equally share with you? So I attended a private wedding yesterday, and I had the privilege of experiencing something unique. Just like my clients want, it's private, so no photograph is going to be shared here. I'm not going to mention their names, but they equally love their story can be shared. So you and I would be able to pick some, just like I said, extrapolate knowledge, wisdom for our survival. What really happened? It's not about the sessions I had with them, no, not at all, but my experience yesterday with them. I had the privilege of meeting the great-grandmother who was in a wheelchair, a great-grandmother of the bride, the grandmother, the mother, and the bride herself. Wait a minute. That is 4 generations. Great-grandmother, a grandmother, a mother, and a daughter having her wedding. So the questions that ran through my mind was, why didn't even this woman decide to stay at home to wait for us? Because it wasn't a church wedding. We did it in the courts. She could as well have waited in the home for us to come back so we all join in the celebration. But she said, no, I want to be there. What is this family doing differently to keep the fire burning to the 4th generation? And a beautiful thing about this particular ceremony is that in attendance from the groom's side were his grandfather, his father and mother. I mean, you know, the maternal grandmother and siblings from both sides. I got so excited that I cried. Yes, is this not what family is supposed to be? Is this not what family is supposed to be? Why is this one different from the many others? Hi, man of God, Sammy. Thank you for being on. Thank you. What is unique about this family? And why is their narrative different, despite the fact that they are also Africans? That is what I want you and I to extrapolate wisdom and knowledge from this. Some people have been brainwashed to believe that their parents are witches and wizards. So for the fourth generation daughter to get married means his great grandmother would not even have been notified. His grandmother would not have even been there, as African as they are. Everything family you think is after your progress in this life. So you prefer to even support strangers than your own family. Everyone in your hometown is a witch. When you visit, can't you see people are prospering? And you that is hiding is still struggling. Some dangerous things here, right? Come. Come, honey, come. Let's have these difficult and yet necessary conversation. Give me a minute. Let me share on my other page. Everything African, we've been taught that is not good. So people are hiding from their family. If they are spirits and they could bewitch you, then don't you think that regardless of where you are, they will as well follow you? When we take life for granted and live anyhow, forgetting that every choice and decision come with their own ramification, then we run into difficulties and challenges. Then we think somebody is after us. Somebody from your family is bewitching you. Really? Give me a minute. I'll be with you. Everything family is against your progress in this life. Fourth generation, a great-grandmother in a wheelchair, a grandmother, her mom, and herself, the fourth generation. Is this not what family is supposed to be? The unhealthy comparisons and competitions making us miss the power of synergy. Some people have capitalized on this same synergy, working on an agenda and making progress in life, while many others have been brainwashed to think that the devil is after them. Their family don't want them to prosper. The Methodist youth used to say, I don't know the slogan now, that you cry, Eugenia. The people who advised you to forsake your family are building legacies for their families. They are building legacies that will pay their generations after they are dead and gone. And you have been taught to disown yours because they are witches and wizards. They are after your progress in this life. I witnessed with my eyes the 4 generations. A great-grandmother, a grandmother, a mother, and a daughter. Who is the bride? What happened to yours? And what happened to mine? That is the information I want you and I to extrapolate. Hi, Kojo. Thank you for being on. 4th generation. A great-grandmother in a wheelchair says, no, I won't stay at home. I still want to be there to see my great-granddaughter getting married. How have they been able to establish that family bond? The children didn't grow up to see them as witches, so they will hide their progress from them. I told you, since I decided to learn every day, there's no day I've woken up, gone back to sleep, that the universe hasn't taught me great lessons. 4 generations. In a wheelchair. In the wheelchair, she still said, I want to be there. I want to be there. What are these families doing differently? What are they doing right that you and I can learn and extrapolate that knowledge? The people who have brainwashed you and I to think that your family, there are witches and wizards. The family is against your progress. So you are supporting strangers. Those people are building legacies for their generations to come. You've been taught that everybody in your hometown is a witch. And yet in the same town, people are prospering. Who bewitched us to this extent? So instead of coming together to work on a plan, to have an agenda for the family, we are just there on healthy comparisons, competitions, missing the power of synergy. Some people are also so entitled that they forget other people in the families have their own struggles, their own battles to fight. They want everything you have without giving you anything back in return. Do you think if this is the way this family has lived, they'll be able to have this kind of bond existing in the fourth generations? People that will find you wherever you are, when they have needs, but they will never find out how you are surviving. Anytime you see their call, it's because they want something from you. They won't check up on you. Nothing about you matters to them until they have need. What heritage are you inculcating in your children so they can as well teach their children's children too? Will your family lineage lose touch with its branches by the time you are no more? Because life is just you, your spouse, and your children. With my very eyes, I witnessed 4 generations of a family. A great-grandmother, a grandmother, a mother, and a daughter who happens to be the bride. Momo be a so much that now you are afraid to go back to your family and support somebody else. Into mubo abusunya kwa abonten because ye di omudi omubeye ebeyem. And I cried. What is wrong with us? Some families define their heritage primarily as their ethnic, cultural, or national identity. Other families can point to values that have been passed on, such as a love for education. They believe in education. Papa be a lawyer, it runs through the family. That is their heritage. Some people pass these things down unto generations. If it's just you and your spouse and your children, what would you learn? Some also participate in community life. Humanitarian leaders, as that ebusiano, that is them. Some have strong work ethic. Obi netre obi and be parts of the family. Their heritage. They are devoted to a cause that a great-grandmother or father served, and it's become a family heritage. Heritage encompasses many things. It's about our ethnic roots, of course, but it also includes cultural teachings and personal experiences. It's about who you are and where you have come from to get to where you are today. Do your children know these stories? To many others, their heritage has equally shaped their values, their personality, their goals. One day I will do another teaching on that, because sometimes to a lot of people are fighting goals, servicing goals that are not from their inspiration. It is just things handed down as to whether you like it or not. You are going to law school because your great-grandfather, your father was a lawyer. It has its other sides. But today we are looking at the beautiful sides to these family heritage and bonds. And these don't happen automatically. Somebody would have to hand them down by living it and teaching it so others would equally learn. Heritage can refer to practices or even characteristics that are passed down through the years from one generation to the next. Researching your family tree will help you gain a sense of personal heritage. Heritage is often used to discuss a cultural aspect or tradition that has been passed down through generations. That can only happen when you are in charge as parents. You can't pass down this heritage to them. Preserving generational heredity, ensuring that cultural, familiar, and ethical values are passed down through generations requires intentional effort and wisdom. So one more time, I'm here that we can share yours so we all learn. For what my eyes have witnessed, number one, understand and embrace your heritage. Learn your family history. Take the time to understand your family roots. Learn about your ancestors, their traditions, and the values that they held dear. Knowing where you come from helps you appreciate and preserve your heritage. Celebrate cultural practices. Engage in cultural traditions, rituals. And this is where a lot of misconceptions and myths have arisen from. Customs that are part of your family heritage. Religion has brainwashed many of us to think that these things are evil. You determine what goes into your rituals. When you hear rituals, you think it's for the unbelievers. No. You belong somewhere. You came from somewhere. You determine what goes into your rituals. It should be your prescribed order. I was having a conversation with a bishop friend of mine, and I mentioned that, I would be in my hometown within this period because it's my grandmother's 10 years passing, and I want to be there. And shockingly, he said, you too? Do you do that? And I was like, this opportunity for education. What do you mean by I too? What do you mean by that? Whereby, as a bishop of a church, the church was handed down to you by your father, who is passed. And every year, you organize praise and worship night to celebrate the life of your deceased father, because he was the pastor of the church that was handed down to you. And you don't see that as ritual. You see how we are more as Africans. Every year, you have 12 churches that they call by names. And every year, you bus them to your city. So you have a praise and worship night to celebrate the life of your father who is passed. And you don't see that as a ritual. But somebody visiting her hometown to go meet the family so they'll be able to sit together and remember the lives of a grandparent who passed 10 years ago. You see that as what? Unholy ritual. When you burn incense and candles, you don't see that as rituals. When you sell your floater, water, and your tokens, you don't see those as rituals. Who exactly brainwashed us? So a lot of people have missed the bond and blessings that were supposed to have established or gotten from their parents, grandparents, or the elderly in their family because they were afraid to get closer to them. They were witches. We have been taught to accept generational curses, but we've not been educated on how to embrace generational blessings. Is that not sad? Is that not pathetic? Where are the sociologists? Where are the historians? Where are the family heads? What are these families doing right that many others don't know? Number 2, share stories and memories. Tell family stories. Oral tradition is one of the oldest and most effective ways to preserve generational heredity. Share stories of your ancestors, their challenges, their victories, and the lessons learned. These stories impact values and connect future generations to their roots. Record memories. Consider documenting your family history. In your family meetings, share the lives of the departed, their struggles, their achievements, what you are proud of, and the things you don't want to repeat, so it doesn't run through. If you don't know what is against your family, how would you be able to work to improve, to achieve, to become better? If nobody shares these stories with you, how would you know what you are fighting against as a family? Preserve important memories, including the experiences and wisdoms of the older family members for future generations to learn from. Number 3, pass down values and beliefs. Teach core values. Instill the values that have been central to your family's identity, whether it's integrity, hard work, respect, or faith. Make these values a cornerstone of your family life and ensure they are passed down to your children and your grandchildren. Lead by examples. Demonstrate the values you wish to pass on through your actions. Children learn more from what they observe than what they are told. So live the principles you want to instill in future generations. Number 4, encourage intergenerational connections. Whether it was a telephone call, whether it was family meetings or gatherings, whether it was discussion, what will make a generation gather, 4th generation, to celebrate the bride, a 4th generation bride? What was the motivation? What was the inspiration? For a great grandmother, a grandmother to say, yes, although I'm feeble, but I'll still be there in person. There are some people, when you call them, because of the pain you've caused them, they don't even want to be there. All they could do is to pray for you on phone. They will not even be there. What are these families doing right that many of us have no idea? They are also Africans. What are they doing right? For a great grandmother to hear that her great granddaughter is going to marry, and she says, I will not wait at home for them to come back. I will still be there in my wheelchair to witness the ceremony. What conversations are happening? Encourage intergenerational connections. Foster relationships between generations. Encourage younger family members to spend time with the older generations. When they grow old, we think they are witches, forgetting that you and I are also going to grow old too. This can create a natural flow of wisdom stories and values from one generation to the next. When your parents want to see your children, you say no, because And if they are powerful as witches, don't you think that wherever you are, they'll be able to be with you? Don't you think wherever you are, they will still be able to follow you with their crafts? If you're afraid of the oba, how can you connect with others in your family? So you pass on, you die, and your children have no link to any family heritage. Is that not sad? Is that not sad? Some of you have shared all the bad things that happen in your family. What about the good things that happened? What about the sacrifice that other people also did to support you along the line that you don't talk about? So the siblings and the nipplings and the all that, there are always competition. Because all you share are the bad events that happen. Organize family gatherings. Regular family gatherings, reunions or special occasions provide opportunities for different generations to connect, share stories, and strengthen the bonds that preserve generational heredity. Number 5, preserve traditions and rituals. When you are invited home, you think that is not godly enough. It is ungodly rituals. But when you are lighting your candles and your incense and buying handkerchiefs and buying powders and the sobolos and the perfumes, you don't see those things as rituals. You see how we've been brainwashed? Maintain family traditions, whether it's annual holidays, gatherings, significant birthdays, milestones of family members, or any unique way of celebrating milestones. These milestones will help keep family traditions alive. These rituals create continuity and a sense of belonging across generations. Aren't you sad that your children don't know any other person, not even on telephone call? You think it's normal? So you pass on and there's nothing family heritage for your children. Adapt traditions when necessary. While it's important to preserve traditions, it's also essential to adapt them as needed to stay relevant and meaningful for new generations. This flexibility can help ensure that traditions continue to be practiced rather than abandoned. So sometimes your father, your mother, passes and asa ebusianas muntematete because simply it's not so odobi any muntem. So the mom passes, the dad passes, and that is it. Number 6, educate the next generation. Teach the importance of heritage. Help younger family members understand why it is important to preserve their heritage. Educate them about their cultural background, the sacrifices of their ancestors, and the significance of maintaining these connections. Involve your children in cultural activities. You see, yes, sir. And I said, those people who taught you that they are building legacies such that when they are dead and gone, these legacies will take care of their 4th and 5th generations. And you have been brainwashed to disconnect yourself from your family. Engage your children in activities that connect them with their heritage, such as learning their family language. And is it not sad that me if my children are not able to speak my dialect, the mother's tongue? When you market, you know, when you think that's an achievement. No, I feel sad. can't bet your ma no mu kabrofo because they can't speak the language, and you take pride in that. In the fact that you, I mean, what? It means your family is elite because uma enka ukrum kasa. Ya yira kwan yo. Nanka ye hwehwe ye chibesi kwema. Anka bebo wa empa. Mother's tongue. And it's whose responsibility it is to teach these children. Engage your children in activities that connect them with their heritage, such as family language, participating in cultural ceremonies, or visiting ancestral homelands. Some of you think you are so blessed that you don't even want to associate with your family, your town, your heritage anymore. No, it's sad. The purpose of your blessing was supposed to help other people equally get blessed. Even sharing knowledge that you now know with them is also key. It's not just about giving money. But if you don't associate with them and teach them, how would they get to know the mindset that you have now? So they would also be empowered. Let your life be a blessing to where life was given. Number 7, create and preserve what we call heirlooms. Pass down family heirlooms, whether they are physical objects, documents, or stories, carry significant emotional and historical value. I had clients who, although the man but insisted that his engagement, the ring he will use is something his great grandmother gave to the mother, and it was so beautiful to me. Some of you more worry na mummy person be hemu niama kwa na mkata so because somebody be ye. And yet you take pride in the fact that other religious leaders can come, inspect this thing, pray in tongues and make noise, and you think that is powerful. Your mother, the woman who carried you in her womb, knows and understands the struggle in your family, and her words can avert that in your life. But you've been brainwashed to think that they are witches. Ensure that these are preserved and passed down to future generations. I have told myself, regardless of what has happened and will happen in my family, I will change the story. That my 4th generation will come and hear. The 5th generation will learn about my life. Because I'll pass down these to my children, and my children will be able to pass them on. Document the significance of heirlooms. Attach stories or notes to this, explaining the history and importance. The guy said, yes, I can afford any ring I want, but I want this lady to wear what my great-grandmother wore, what my mother wore on her engagement. And on our first anniversary, I will change it for her and keep it for my son also. And I'm like, yeah. And he's not a Ghanaian. We are Africans, and Osunyatiranti, we think our people are witches. This gentleman is not a Ghanaian, is not an African. And yet family heirlooms are being preserved. And you and I have been told that there is a witchcraft, there are spirits in this, that when you get closer to it, I better say, Abraham, who bewitched us? Anything given by older members of the family to the younger members of this family. Some of you have grandmothers and mothers who are still alive, and yet nothing about your life. Because you have been taught about generational curses, but nobody has educated you on generational blessings. So on your wedding day, even when your grandmother says, "Me pesa me de your crown, I want to be there," will say, "No, no, 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 no. Mumfa nko asori dem ho. Mema me so for you asha mami. Mema madam for be mami asha mami." Madam for the mami, does she understand the struggles of marriage in your family? Because your mother carried you in the womb, if she's a good woman, she would be able to speak, to avert, to put you on another tangent, such that you won't go, you will miss the struggles of marriages in that family line. She knows it, she understands it, she has experienced it, and she knows how she'll be able to divert that, beginning with you. And yet you've been brainwashed that her words are curses. On your birthday, you are chasing after other people's parents so they can bless you, and your parents are alive. Who brainwashed us? Who brainwashed us? These people are speaking in tongues, shouting, and you think it's powerful. When your mother go on her knees, when she holds her stomach and pray for you, the universe has no cause than to stand at ease and to make her words come alive in your life, because she has power and control over you. So all the universe will do is to bring forth those pronouncements to pass. She knows and understands the struggles in her lineage, and therefore she knows how to pray to avert that, beginning with you. And yet you didn't give her that chance. So when you begin going through that same struggles, you are running after who? The opportunity you had, you missed it. Yes, I know. Some mothers only gave birth. Nothing motherhood about them. And sometimes, when you listen to the story of these mothers, that is why you judge them and hate them. Now, I don't judge anybody. I only help people. Because until you know the full story of people, you have no business and right to judge them. Some of the mothers, the best option they had when they got pregnant was to have aborted you. So for the fact that they kept you and had you is enough grounds for you to love them, honor them, and respect them, and teach them better because they didn't know better. I reached out to a mother of a client who was going through mental health difficulties, and I insisted that this mother prays for her son on her birthday. And this woman said, "Ne birthday ni kura edabe." Yeah. Ono ani ba wa wonu. Ono bisa mo telephone so say, "Oh, asa mesi bo ne banidin. Ne birthday ni kura edabe." She wasn't even sure of her son's date of birth. Why on earth would you begrudge the love that you never got from these parents? They didn't know better, so they didn't do right by you. Now that you know, if you punish them, the universe will take account. The universe will take account, and that will start another line for you and your children also. Show them love and respect and teach them right. Teach them how to do right by you, because now you know better. After the education and the family bond and every other thing, do you think next year around that time, this mother will forget her son's birthday? No. A mother who can't even write her own name. If she doesn't remember your date of birth, you begrudge her and hate her with a passion. Your children are watching. The universe is recording. Teach them how you want to be loved by showing them that through the way you love them now that you know better. You claim you are so powerful, and yet you don't believe that even if my mom or your mom is a witch, you would deal with the craft and love the person who gave birth to you. So where is the source of that power that you claim to have? You claim you know God now. You are born again. And you can't deal with that craft whilst you love the person behind the craft. No, that's a big shame. Love her as a mother and deal with that craft if you think you are powerful enough. Number 8, encourage responsibility and stewardship. Instill a sense of responsibility. Teach younger generations that they are stewards of their family's heritage. Encourage them to take pride in their roots and to feel responsible for passing on these traditions and values. Prepare heads for leadership. As older family members age, prepare the next generation to take on leadership roles within the family. This ensures that someone is willing and ready to carry the torch and to preserve the family's legacy. Many a time, maybe do be so mempe because you catch and say, or the no cotisani minimum on somebody be on any manti on pe. But if you start raising some people, chances are by the time you are old, you get a lot of people who are willing, ready, and able to lead. Number 9, preserve and share genealogical records. Genealogical records. Prepare and share. Maintain family records. Keep a well-organized record of your family genealogy, including birth, marriage, and death records. There are mothers, there are fathers, there are grandmothers who don't forget the birth dates. Amazing. As old as they are, they know all their grandchildren by their names. On kasemichia one uma obebo abofrebi edin. Okaida warrior Emma Fisun to me for no bompaye, a bisao say cousin, okay, with date of birth. Because Nina, a man, mammy muye, into no sunya, a man, a muscle besunya, it has become a family tradition. Any other significant events? These records are invaluable for future generations tracing their lineage. There are some siblings that even their own siblings, they don't know their date of birth. They don't know. They don't know. And it's sad. Use technology to preserve information. Leverage technology to store and share family records, photos, or stories. Digital archives can be a powerful tool in preserving and passing down family history. Today, there are lots of many families that use WhatsApp, Telegram, and other apps to stay in touch. So everybody in the family, as long as you have a mobile phone and you're on WhatsApp, you're on Telegram, you are there. You are there. But the sad aspect of many of these people is the people are there. Where is it here? They will still add you. Not because they want to check up on you, but say the BBC will be to make us a one thing. Say the bear contribution be a bit here because you're the only here the Indian habit. Is that what family is supposed to be? No. No. That is an opportunity for you to check up on others In the whole quarter, you can pick a month to check up on the siblings, to check up on the siblings, to check up on the nibblings, to check up a particular quarter. And within a year, chances are everybody will feel loved because obia should be obia be so be say. Mo family charts no is just about contribution and obia we are you na mo see mo na ye do how na mo so do he and no am fear ye ne ba nasa ye twan to mo ne identity picture beto e so obia koto so obi was skill that day or the obedi oni the obedi ya be sha ntoma no after that ye ni ya nasa ye ko wedding oduko e be boni no. Find out how people are living. There's a project I started working on 2 years ago. You see, those who give and give and give and give and give in our families, in our communities, there comes a time they run empty, but they still pour from empty. Half full glasses and cups, people are still taking. Without anybody finding out how they are filling their cups. These people might not need your money, but they need your love and care. A telephone call to check up on them. All they care about is to collect and collect and collect and collect. Not even how are you doing. On your birthday, they can't pour out love and affection and blessings and prayer. No. No. The people, look out, start looking out for those people in your families. The people give and give and give and give and give. There comes a time their souls and their hearts are also empty. But the other side of life is there are some of us, there are some of them, or not yet, about 10 years ago, they still look good. So you see it all put together for them. They have needs too. You think life, they have it all put together. So even checking up on them, you think they are strong. They can conquer everything. They go through all the challenges you go through too. So check up on them. Let them feel loved and honored and respected. Don't let them feel used. That you give and give and give and give. That they give and give and give and give. And sometimes even appreciating them is a problem. A mother was sharing how she stood up for her siblings, supported all of them. And yet, everybody abandoned them. And their own mother supported their siblings to abandon them. Because no name so bet me a sorry bill. Don't do that. Don't do that. The tables can change and can turn anytime. Don't just use people and discard them and be so much entitled. People have their own needs and have their own challenges and battles they are fighting. So love them and show gratitude. Don't just use them as sandpapers. And after you've used them, you discard them until you have need of them again. Number 10, foster a sense of belonging. Create a strong family identity. Help family members feel a strong sense of identity and belonging to their family. Edu wone umaso peso biya kobi. Baby and nipa shed biya obeshishem. But edu obi ne maso dia found. That is bad. If you want to stand up for everyone. The same cup, measure it and use it for everyone. Involve everyone. Encourage all family members, regardless of their age, to contribute to the preservation of your family's heritage. When everyone plays a part, it strengthens the bond and commitments in maintaining that generational legacy. So it's not just yours, It is for us. It is for all of you. So everybody's thinking of how it can be preserved. Number 11, respect individual journeys. Respect individual journeys. Recognize diverse paths. Because we are busuapen, we are wofa, we are auntie, we are uncle, we are cousin, we are niece, we are nephew. Men dreams obia prabo e command said dia odia komao. And people are supposed to express their allegiance and loyalty like you do. No, it's wrong. Understand that each family member may connect with their heritage in different ways. Respect and support their individual journeys while encouraging them to stay connected to the core values and traditions. Encourage personal exploration. Allow family members to explore their heritage in their own ways. This could mean researching family history, learning the language, or engaging with cultural practices that resonate with them. If the others, they don't like it, that's okay. They don't have to be at every event, every meeting to show their loyalty and allegiance. No. They cannot provide financially all the time to show their allegiance, they are loyal. No. They can support in other forms, in other ways, some other times. Number 12, plan for the future. Establish a family vision. Consider creating a family mission statement or vision that outlines the values, goals, and commitments that your family strives to uphold across generations. Work with an agenda, beginning from your nuclear family. Work with an agenda. In conclusion, let me share a story I heard that touched me so much. And just like I've told you, I am in the student mode. And because of that, every day the universe has something to teach me. And that is why when I meet those who think they know it all, I just wink and pass. Because the more we learn, the more we realize how much we don't know. The story is told of a teacher who had an agenda for his family. Teacher Keziah, yeah. Ne years were or send me money for the sake of these 4 children of mine. I want to remarry for now. So he worked hard with the mega salary of a teacher to support his children, beginning with the first child. The first child didn't baby see or start in a juma or year. Then no, then the first child helped the second child. So the father, the first child, and the third child now helped the father, the second child, the father, the first child, the second child supported the third child. And then the 3 children together with the father supported the last child. Once they had the foundation, building upon it was easier. So you don't make certain mistakes in life. And that is why family heritage is important. These children waited that the 4 of them were established, not so rich or anything of that sort, but obianya baby see before they started marrying. You see why I'm paying no see baby in. There is no agenda, there is no heritage, so selfishness take place. Onunya baby see a worry, so now the focus is na you in ma, Nico in ma, Nini Anamna can be on be There is no plan, there is no agenda, there is no vision, there are no goals. So beginning with you and I, how are we raising our children to accept this heritage and to work on this agenda such that our next generation and our next generation will be better than what we are today? Such that nyame watum and you live longer and you witness your fourth generation like this great grandmother is blessed to experience. You will say, yes, I have lived a good life. Now I can see how the next 4 generations are going to unfold. Because chances are, they are no mama, no mama, so it is being run in the family. They won't depart from it. Oh, hi. Heaven, but Thomas, I love your name. Watching from Seshi, yes. What heritage have we learned that will impact into our children's children? And what the 4th generation, Saradima Yenkwatenting, exhibiting them before we Charity Mensa, God bless you. That some people are so blessed and endowed, and yet you don't want to bless anybody in your family because somebody obey you. I don't believe in entitlement. For the fact that they are family doesn't mean they should toy with your life. But some of them need help, and you can offer this help in abundance. Some of you, even out of your crumbs, would change the life of other people struggling in your family, and yet you won't do. You are just there making showmanship out there. Everybody thinks you are blessed, and yet the people connected to you can't feel of this blessing. You know the people struggling in your family. That's just sometimes a note connecting them to somebody will transform their lives, and yet you won't do. You will never do. Some of you have become the guests in your family. You want everybody to kowtow to your whims and caprices just so you can throw your crumbs on them. The tables can turn anytime, oh my darling. Things can change. Life might not even be good for them, but their children will rise, and one day your children's children might need them, but it will be too late. What are we teaching our generations? How are we inculcating family heritage so our generations will learn? 4th generation, Seradiya ya dumni nyankwatenteng. Abrabo ye boenne. Our children's children. Would they be proud of the family we come from? There are some people in families on Yango ye or Nemape. The tables can turn. We say it's not just for you and your children. One day your children's children will need somebody else that God, the universe, has opened a door into your family. And then you'll be dead and gone, and they will remember what you did whilst you are alive. Just the crumbs that won't affect you in any way. You will never do it. Because you are super excited that in your family you are the champion. You don't want anybody else. So be many to be a young woman. Would you be wako? But mama, ebe he will be so more. No be babe kaino a yaw audium fame and run out yes. What are we living? What a legacy? What heritage are we living behind? Think about these things. I've told you as I learn, I will share with you. I don't expect you to think like I do. But when I'm now to so between about 4, now I share what you can extrapolate. The betunya boa wa bra boso nipa na wa fa at go to gym na wo so the abo bra. The main sro sa wo kan ko abusua ma obi bekum obi de ne beye o. And don't see those things as evil. When we burn the incense and the candles and buy the flooded waters and the tokens and the anointing oils and the sobolos and we don't see those as rituals. But the we see that as what? That doesn't make us born again enough. We've been lied to. We've been lied to. Say yenim, but now that we know, we will do right. We will do right. Those people taught you that they are building legacies for their children's children. And you are departing from the family that gave you life. Yehu nyamobo. Yehu enyamobo. So yes, I witnessed 4 generations. The tenacity for them to come together at every event, such that a great grandmother or to uchemu cement nefi in chemu na mon konko sign ma I want to be there so that today I can tell my soul that menenane asemesi eso a worry. Ujidi so mu jitu mu so mu na ye bayfo na oben o mo bekun mo ma eno mo she na rehu ni yawa nka ne na worry obeka so obeko go ma. So it's about time we had this difficult and yet necessary conversations. If not, we will miss out big deal. And it wouldn't be any devil's fault. It would be out of our naivety, out of our ignorance, and another word I don't want to use. We didn't know, so that's okay. But now that we know, how different are we going to live? So I'll come your way again, probably Sunday. Much love and blessings. Get the agenda for your life. Don't just live anyhow. Work with an agenda. Whether it's with your siblings, whether it's with your parents, whether it's with your spouse and children, get an agenda and connect with your family. You belong somewhere. That is where your identity spans from. Anything that disconnects you from that identity doesn't help you, but destroys who you are. People are paying so much money to find out their history, their lineage, and you are alive and you have the opportunity to enjoy yours, and you're afraid to be in a bay. Who bewitched us? Think about these things. Think about these things, my brother. Think about these things. If there are things you must consider, if there are things you must think about, If there are things that are worth your attention and effort, think about these things and how it would make your life easier and comfortable. Thank you all for being on from the very beginning. Heaven Bat Thomas, thank you for your support. Charity, much love and blessings. Thank you very much, Thomas. Heaven Bat Thomas, much love and blessings for your love and support. Osei, thank you for being on. Sachi, much love and blessings. Sami, how is Nigeria? Thank you all for being on. Think about these things and don't lose touch of the privilege that God and the universe have given to us to make life comfortable for us. If this age and time you think a witch is after you, such that you are even afraid to identify with your family, and you say you're a Christian born again, I don't get it. And you say you're educated, I don't get it. Until I come your way again, probably Sunday, much love and blessings. God bless and keep all of us. You can put your comments in the comment section and I'll read it. You can share it on your timeline so your followers can equally get access to this information. This is a serious conversation that we are supposed to have. It is difficult but necessary that at our family levels we should begin asking ourselves these questions. Thank you, everyone. Yours truly, the Lady Keziah here. Bye for now.